It's migration season for birds, but you're hearing and seeing some disturbing reports around the state. Can you describe for us what you've been finding out?
Sure. Since actually now the 20th of August, we've been seeing reports of mortalities of birds around New Mexico. They started in south central New Mexico at White Sands Missile Range. And folks there, Trish Cutler, who's a biologist, was sending out asking if anyone else was seeing this. And the truth is we weren't. And we thought it was an isolated incident. We had a large weather event across the country a week ago, and that brought a lot of birds down this area. And it also brought in a lot of mortalities. We've seen a lot of birds that we don't normally see migrating through here, and we're seeing some very odd behaviors and a lot of dead birds.
So what are some of the odd behaviors you're seeing, and what are some of the species you're seeing affected?
Sure. The odd behaviors are things like birds that are normally in shrubs and trees are hopping around on the ground. We're finding birds like swallows, violet green swallows and barn swallows that are aerial insectivores sitting on the ground, very lethargic, clustering in old barn swallow nests and found dead in old barn swallow nests. A bird like the western wood pewee that we probably passes us over because honestly, we're not that great of a stopover site for them. Here, just tons of them. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them were hit by cars. There are a lot of them in areas in ag fields and just kind of open areas and people's gardens. So it's just a very odd time. Honestly, the cold weather has contributed to some of this, but this is something that's been going on, and we're still getting reports of carcasses today.
So I understand that you're still studying, along with other biologists in the state, still studying and trying to figure out what might have happened. What are some of the ideas that people have right now?
So certainly the cold weather contributed to some of this. There are other thoughts, and again, these are just thoughts and ideas. We don't really understand completely what's going on. The fires in the west could have changed some migratory routes. Some birds might have some damage to their lungs because of smoke inhalation. It's been very dry here in New Mexico this year, so if birds had to change their patterns because of the fire and then they ended up stopping over here and dropped down in the middle of the desert, there isn't enough food to sustain them to continue their journey. That may also be a factor. So, those are the major things that we're looking at right now.
So I know since this story broke, the public has responded to this issue, but I'm curious, for somebody who might not care about birds or be paying close attention, why should people care that this is happening?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. And, to me, this is our native biological diversity. It's like a museum. It's a national treasure. It's a heritage for our kids and our grandkids. And, a lot of, since 1970, we've lost 3 billion birds, an estimated 3 billion birds. And so a lot of these species are already at risk and they're already declining. And to have a major event like this on top of the declines that they're already experiencing is devastating for some of these species.
Well, Dr. Desmond, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you.
John, have you yourself seen any of these mortalities or, sort of experienced any strange bird stories this week?
Yeah, after the initial reports came out, I went down to do my weekly bike ride along the Bosque Trail in Albuquerque, and I was surprised to encounter a number of swallows along the trail. Actually, when I started my bike ride, there was a young child sitting there staring at an object in the trail. I didn't know what it was, and I realized it was a violet green swallow that was exhausted and looking dazed. And as I went further down the trail, I started seeing them all along the trail, and a number of them dead along the side of the trail. We can talk about these things and you read reports, but when you see it up close, it can be really impactful. So it was a pretty sad sight to see.
Where were you seeing the worst die-offs, and what species were being found?
The first reports we had were down in southern New Mexico, and actually the first people that brought it to my attention were the biologists at White Sands. But shortly after that, we started getting reports from all over the state. So I don't think we right now think that there's necessarily a particular area that's focused on. It's pretty widespread throughout New Mexico, but we are looking around to see if our partners in Arizona or Texas have seen the same thing, and so far they haven't. So it looks like it's limited to New Mexico. The bird species are mostly insect-eating birds, but we've seen all types affected. But the warblers, we've had reports of bluebirds, flycatchers, a number of those groups that spend a lot of time eating insects are the ones we're seeing most heavily impacted.
So why is this time of year so important? Why are these migrations so significant?
So as most folks know, our bird populations, they winter in areas that provide the best overwintering forage and habitat, and they go to sunnier climates to do that, and they get away from their breeding grounds before the snow falls and before the weather turns rough. And so it's pretty important for them to be able to have a smooth path from that breeding ground to the wintering ground. When you imagine the distances they fly over and how small those critters are, they are really, running right on the edge of emptying their fuel tanks, if you think of it that way. And they're always just on the edge of survival because it's such an arduous journey and so tough. So any adverse conditions can really have a significant impact. So this is really the time where these birds are probably the most vulnerable to things like that.
So with so many things happening in the world right now, John, why should people care about birds?
Oh, Laura, I personally care about, all wild things, and I'm a wildlife biologist. So that's always been a tough question for me to answer because, I love seeing the birds fly. I love seeing the, deer and antelope and bear and all the wonderful things that we have here in New Mexico that we share this land with. But one of the things we try to convey to people is that if we do the right things for birds, if we're doing the right things for these habitats, we're helping people, whether it's water in the rivers, healthy forests that aren't on fire and aren't ablaze, snow-capped peaks, all these things that we cherish and love and make our quality of life better. Birds depend on those too. And so if we're helping birds, we're helping people and the planet as a whole.
If people do find lethargic birds or dead birds, what should they do?
So right now, we've been coordinating with New Mexico Game and Fish to do some analysis and some necropsy. They actually have all the specimens they need. So we're asking folks to not send in birds if they find dead birds. Honestly, you're probably best off letting them lie and let nature take its course. If you find an exhausted bird and you want to help, you can look up New Mexico Game and Fish. They have a database of certified wildlife rehabbers, and you can take a bird there. One of the things we're asking folks to do, though, if they use the iNaturalist app, there is a project down there for Southwest bird mortality, and they can actually report through that app when they see big observations of a number of dead birds like this. But for now, we're not asking folks to send in any more specimens.
All right, John Hayes, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Laura.